Okay, I am ready. Is MCTV ready? All right, so good morning, and thank you for taking the time out for this community fire update, of which, of course, yesterday we had a horrific morning that most of us that live or work in Millbrae will not soon forget. I want to be perfectly clear, this is a community event, and I'm going to start off with some talking points, but please format your questions. We have some great staff here that can help with any of the questions that you may have as I speak or going forward, coming from yesterday. We lost our community center yesterday to a horrific fire, and we are so grateful to the men and women of our Central Fire for doing their best to put that fire out as quickly as possible. I want to say a quick thank you, not a quick, but a huge thank you to our neighborhood cities who also participated in this process. So at this time, we are working with our partners in the region to find alternative venues for many of the public and the private events that were to take place in our community center. Youth programs. The programs and the activities have been temporarily relocated to the Carolyn Shea Center located at Millbrae Middle School. Right now, we don't, did I say Millbrae Taylor, sorry. Taylor Middle School, I know that, sorry. Right now, we don't know where the other programs or the events will be hosted to the upcoming days. The destruction of this particular location could not have come at a worse time for our 6th annual Millbrae Relay for Life. It was going to be at the Central Park. The relocation is due to the event's proximity to the center and its exposure to hazardous material and particles from the fire. I don't have at this time a relocation, but no, we do not have it confirmed, but it will be relocated. And I will tell you that we can look towards our websites. We can the Relay for Life committees will be making phone calls, and we will have it on our Facebook and every other social media platform that we can get it to. In addition, there's several other congregations that gather on the site on Sundays, and they use the center as a place of worship. I know that the city's staff, our city staff, has stepped up, and they're doing their best to ensure that any scheduled events can continue. While some events may be canceled, we're committed to working with all the event organizers to find alternative venues, including our business community and our cities in the region have been extremely generous in offering support to facilitate these needs. On Monday, August 8th, we're going to host another community meeting to talk about the history and the future of our community center. The meeting will start at 6:30 p.m. and our plan is to rebuild. With our given situation, we'll look towards any opportunity to find out how we can make this a positive thing. One being on how yesterday our many city departments worked together and made everyone feel that lives in Millbrae safe. Millbrae staff are part of a stellar run operation. And I want to take a moment to mention, to say what I mean by stellar. For all of us that were part of yesterday's operation, I got today to take a deep breath, come to some thoughts, put them on paper, organize. We had our community groups that got to take a deep breath. They got to get together yesterday, come up with some plans to organize. Relay for Life, for instance, we had our historical committee come together and say, hey, we'll help the sister cities with their meeting places. We had our school board involved with helping with different things as the facility at the Carolyn Shea room. We had our Park and Rec up there helping to get the kids organized as best we could. But I want to tell you, our staff had no deep breath. They got together and they ran something that I couldn't believe. It was what I would say poetry in motion. I don't know how the heck the training was in the past, what they've done, but they knew how to do it. from the top to the bottom. The leadership was incredible, and the community workers, our workers that work in our community, took from leadership without a doubt and came together to make everything work very smoothly. So I say thank you so much to our staff, and that's what I mean by stellar. Though our center's destroyed, it's an opportunity to rebuild, and that, like I said, is the plan. The plan is to do it together and with anybody, like here, that wants to have some input. Our MCF, our Millbrae Community Foundation, is establishing a fund. It has established a fund for contributions, and those donations can be made at any time to MCF. While today we must first and foremost focus that nobody was hurt yesterday, we have to take the opportunity to come together and share our own personal memories that we had in that old center and look now to the vision of rebuilding a new building. We remember just how 2 days ago, the memories of events from our kids' daycare to our senior lunches, birthday parties to weddings, and fundraisers to fun runs. So I'm going to end by saying today we're going to rebuild the building located in and known as the center of our city. With that, I'm going to open it to questions. We have our fire chief here, and I'm going to pass the mic as we go. John.
Can I make comments and concerns?
Yes, could you come up so that we can make sure that we get this on MCTV?
Thank you, Mayor. My name is John Muniz, president of the Millbrae Historical Society. The Millbrae Museum, it's over 100 years old. There is no fire suppression system in the museum. I'm very concerned in light of the fact that arson has been suspected at the rec center. The museum is totally made out of wood. It would go up in 10 minutes, I guarantee you, and it would be a great loss to this community. I'm very concerned about that. When I heard arson last night, I didn't sleep at all. And it should be a concern to the citizens of Millbrae and to everyone, the city of Millbrae, that we have this building over here, over 100 years old. We need action on this building. We need the sheriff's department to park a patrol car there from dusk to dawn to ensure that no one is able to do harm to that building. I see a lot of transients in the area. There are a lot of people sleeping on the porch, underneath the porch, on the side. I've chased them out many times. I've called the sheriff's department 2 times last year, and they've chased them out of there. Very concerned. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, John. It works. We heard you. Everybody heard you. Anybody else? Any questions, concerns? No questions? Yes.
Gary Schwanson, president of the Toastmasters.
President of the Toastmasters.
We meet at the community center. How will we be notified? How can we find out about any alternative meeting spots?
Perfect. So the question is, how will we find out about any alternative meeting spots going forward? So I'm going to say that the best source right now is going to be our website. I would imagine in a community like ours, the phone tree is going to work very well, but our website will have posted meetings and locations for now.
Good morning. I'm Marcia Raines, City Manager for Millbrae. Very proud of the community that came together yesterday. As the mayor has said, I wanted to answer the question with a little bit more detail. Immediately, part of what she was referring to when she talked about staff not skipping a beat, immediately the recreation staff that was normally in the community center set up office in my office. So they're inside this building. They will be located today in the lobby in the Magnolia room. So there's a room there, a meeting room that actually is right on the other side of this door. The recreation staff you will be able to find them, to locate them, to call them the way you've always called them. The phone numbers will be up. The computers are already up. They spent yesterday afternoon compiling a list of offers for meeting places, from our private businesses that have locations to meet, to surrounding agencies, and finding where other meeting rooms that we, in fact, own and control are not booked. So they will have a list for you if you have need. A number of our businesses have offered to host meetings. You heard a communication, I think, came from John where did he go? They offered to host Sister City. So everybody's coming forward. This is a wonderful community. We will find a place for you to continue your meetings. And we should have help as soon as today. Sorry, Mayor.
Could we just confirm, Johns, for 1 second, your comment with regards to arson? That is not a confirmed report. So it's not to be made light of, but it's not to be fearful of. Let's be aware of it. Is that fair enough, Chief? Yes? So aware of it. We need to be aware, but it's not confirmed. Yes, Councilmember Pappen.
The food for the seniors, that have been arranged?
No, that has not gone into place yet. Luckily, today's Friday, so we do have a weekend to get through so that we can get a little bit further by Monday. Is that fair enough to say? Okay. Carol.
Carol Krasilnikoff, Community Preservation Commission. What's going to happen with the fall guide?
What's going to happen with the fall guide? We're trying to relocate as many activities as possible. And I would, again, I'm going to say watch for the website. And by Monday, you have to see what Park and Recs has been doing. They shut the door in City Hall in one of the offices, and they've put their heads together, and they're being as diligent and as quick as possible. So to be determined.
We did yesterday prioritize, and our kids in the community were first. All the camps that we had, we made that our top priority. So the programs, with the wonderful assistance of the elementary school district, were relocated as we were fighting the fire. So the camps and the kids programs are taken care of. And that was a decision we made very quickly, that the kids are first, and the rest of the meeting space requirements and the publications and all of that will follow. And today we'll start working on those and get rapid answers.
Yeah, let's.
Thank you for your patience.
To put insult to injury, this is the time of the year where we have hundreds of kids that don't normally participate at the rec center daily. So that was a huge concern yesterday, and that was top priority, and it happened very easily and very quickly. March.
Thursdays are usually the mornings for the brown bag distribution for qualifying residents in the city to receive free bag of groceries, and we do that every week. Was that program discontinued yesterday, or was it moved over to the Shea Center?
That unfortunately that did not happen yesterday. Anybody else? Yes. Bob. Would you like the mic, Bob?
No, I'm okay. I don't need it.
Well, the television can't hear you unless you get the mic.
Okay.
You got all dressed up for us?
Yeah. A couple questions, I guess, the city attorney regarding the insurance. I'm sorry, city manager, excuse me.
What is your question?
Insurance on the building. How much insurance do we have on the building? How is that covered?
We're meeting out on the site today with our insurance carrier.
And the insurance carrier, is that a local carrier? Is that a government carrier?
It's a government carrier.
Is there a name for that?
A-bag.
Okay. How much do we know yet? How much is covered by the insurance? Or do they rebuild the whole building?
Those are two different questions. That's what the meeting is about this morning.
Okay, great. I happened to bump into a neighbor of mine this morning who I believe called in the first alarm. She lives on the corner of Laurel. And apparently she was calling the fire department asking why the fire trucks did not come down to Laurel first. The fire hydrant that's on Laurel is about 100 yards from the fire origin. The other fire hydrant is almost 300. So our neighbors have a few concerns on that, how that was not addressed. And so I'd like to ask those questions if I could, for our own safety in the future.
So yesterday when the alarm came in, it came in as a fire alarm. It's typical in our system when it's just a fire alarm is what it came in as. It wasn't reported as an actual structure fire. We'll send one fire engine. As soon as that fire engine got there, recognized that they had a working fire, they struck that first alarm. That fire alarm came in Hazel, so that's why they came up around that way. That engine reported, there was multiple engines coming in after that, so you had one engine coming from Hazel, the rest came from the Lincoln side. So a lot of that is established by the incident commander very early on, as you know, to put those resources in the right location. So that's why there was some initial, I'm not going to say confusion, but we had to identify exactly what was going on because it initially came in as just a fire alarm, which is very common. We get those all day long, every day. We don't get big, significant fires like this, but when they did identify it, they did call in that rest of that alarm. And we had probably 3 or 4 hydrants in use yesterday, so it wasn't just one. And I would say logistically, we had no issues with getting water, locations of apparatus. I'm very happy with operationally the way it went. So, but I do hear your concerns, and we'll take a look at that. Like any incident, we're going to review it, see what we could do better. But I would say operationally, we were happy with the way it went.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes. Bing? Okay. Okay. Yes? Correct? So Bing's question is with regards to the tennis courts, and yes, they were in the budget for resurfacing. Yesterday, quite frankly, we thought we were going to be able to go ahead with tennis, even the tennis classes that were scheduled with the rec. But as we drive by today, everything is taped off. So with regards to the resurfacing, I'm going to say that we have no decision whatsoever with that right now. I would imagine that'll be part of the rebuilding plan as we go forward, and I guess I don't have an answer for you. But yesterday we thought that was going to not be an issue with the tennis courts, but it appears that they are taped off today. Well, I don't want to say canceled because we're trying to relocate everything, all right? Anybody else? Yes, John.
There are some plaques at the scene.
Yes.
Right in front. Can the fire department take them down and save them?
So with regards to plaques, there was, I know, a big plaque with the Boy Scouts inside too. So no, the city manager has not gone inside the scene yet. Have you? No. So with regards to any of that, yes, she's going to meet the insurance carriers up there today, and anything that can be restored will be restored. Sure, the museum, whatever we can gather. Yes. Yes. Okay, so Karen, do you want to come up front because I know everybody's waiting for you. Come on up and take the mic.
Hi, as I mentioned, my name is Karen Batuki, and I'm the current lead coordinator for the Millbrae Relay for Life. And I know there was some question regarding the location of the event. Yesterday, we were fortunate enough to work with Fawn Fafersert, our superintendent, and we have confirmed a new location at Spring Valley Elementary School. So we're really happy and so fortunate to be in such a wonderful city where the community is coming together at times like these to work together, and we can continue with our plans just as scheduled at Spring Valley this weekend. So thank you.
Thank you, Karen. So the field remains closed, but you'll be holding the Relay for Life on the asphalt. Is that correct? Yes, at Spring Valley. The blacktop. I think the important take from the message is Spring Valley is Relay for Life this weekend, all right? So we have a relocation. All right, yes.
I'm sorry, can I stand up?
No worries.
I have a question for those summer camps. For those summer camps parents who have registered their children, some who do not really speak English or even can get on your website to see what their relocation, are you calling them individually to let them know you have relocated the camp to the Taylor Middle School?
Thank you for that comment. I know that yesterday they tried to the Park and Recs tried to gather all information possible from registrations, and there was a minimal amount of information that was lost. All of it was, in the cloud or whatever you say. Is that correct? So to answer your question, yes, they tried to contact everybody, but I think that that is a good comment that we need to think about language barriers. So, thank you.
Volunteer if the rec people need me to speak.
We'd be happy to have your help.
Yeah.
Now that's, honestly, that's what's been so great about the community. Thank you very much. Yes.
I work at the Millbrae Rec Center. I've been running the summer camp for the past 2 years. My name is Ashley. I've actually worked there the past 14 summers.
So Ashley worked at the Millbrae Rec, and
So maybe we could work after and see about that. Because I'm here to kind of report back. And yeah, so maybe we can meet afterwards.
thank you, Ashley. Perfect. Anybody else? Yes. Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve Henderson, and Millbrae community member of four children in town, and all going through the rec and at Spring Valley and Taylor, respectively. This may be more appropriate for the August 8th meeting. However, going forward, my background is education, and I'm also a coach. So moving forward at the high school level, I'm thinking about facilities around here that maybe we can model after in terms of a combination of recreation programs and or facilities, thinking about San Bruno, thinking about Menlo Park, the Arriaga Center, thinking about South San Francisco and Terra Bay. And just in terms of studying and looking at how they have over the years compiled resources to make those rec departments and those facilities really meet the needs of their communities. Deep concern of mine. I'm going to make myself available for that meeting for sure, and then going forward, just want to make sure we do a really careful study of what the other surrounding communities have done to have outstanding facilities going forward, so that we can have the same when we rebuild. Thank you.
Okay, so again, that meeting is August 8th at 6:30. And do we have a location? Can we set a location, council? Location?
We're still, I don't mean to be so hesitant, but with all the moving around of things, we need to make sure we've got a facility available. So we will advertise that, but I don't have a location right now. I apologize.
Okay, so August 8th, 6:30, somewhere in Millbrae. Yes, Marge.
Thank you. Relative to a follow-up to Mr. Henderson's comments, I would just like to say that I think it would be really, really wonderful if we could do outreach as you are doing and continue to do it, to have our community members and businesses especially step up and offer their facilities. And I would like to let you know, Mayor, that I would be very, very happy, because I do have time, that I'd be very happy to help with the outreach to our downtown businesses and in the businesses in the area, for those who have spaces or potential spaces. I'd be happy to outreach with them and talk to them about if we can take their name and address, take their name and contact, and see if we can get that information coordinated back to Central.
So we have another volunteer for that. Thank you very much. That should be immediate pretty much, so we can get everybody in place.
Yeah, and let me know who's coordinating everything, and then I can just start my schedule even tomorrow.
Terrific. Thank you. Okay, so I just have a comment again on August 8th. It just gives me the opportunity to say August 8th one more time. August 8th, 6:30 here, right here in the council chambers is the location. So that's confirmed. All right? Quick. I told you, they're like poetry in motion. Anything else? Anybody else? Yes.
In regards to what Mark was saying, I work at the Chamber of Commerce as well as the rec center, so perhaps we can work with Marge and we can talk to Lorianne, the CEO, and see what we can reach out to the businesses.
Thank you very much. All right. After this meeting, you guys can put it together. Anybody else? Yes.
Adding trailers to the Central Park with classrooms,
Well,
temporary classrooms for you can use those instead of going other places.
yeah, that's a great idea. And I know that we'll put that on the list to talk about. Any ideas like that, we'll be happy to give to staff so that they can make everything work. Anybody else? Okay, well, if anything comes of this, I mean, this is a full council chamber of caring people. And if there's no other comments, I'm going to say that this group across the board here needs to go to work, and so does a lot of people in the audience. Thank you very much for getting our volunteers together so we can maybe get some businesses that might want to participate and get the language barrier to any parents that might need it for the rec center summer camp. So we have our Relay for Life has been established. It's going to be at Spring Valley. So that was another, something that we needed to do immediately. And our kids are in place. Next, we'll work on all the other activities that need to be relocated. And I really thank you for my time here. I'm going to turn it over to our city manager, or anybody else with comments. I'll let you take it over.
The one thing, this is moving so rapidly, the one thing that the mayor and the council did ask of staff, and I see MCTV and the Historic Society here, if we could work together, as we always have, on August 8th meeting, ask community members to bring their memorabilia from the center so that we start an archive of some fashion. We were having people call in yesterday saying that was their preschool. You have photos of when you were in preschool. The council's idea, this was their idea, was to begin to record that. So I see Dana and John are both here. I know they have a lot on their minds this morning, a lot on their list, but that's one thread that I think is extremely important. Dana.
I'm Dana Sahai. I'm the executive director of MCTV. We've established an email address, photos@mctv.tv. If anyone has memories, photos, or just memories they want to write down and send to us, we're going to be collecting those for the city and the Historical Society, and we can all work together to put something together with those memories. So photos@mctv.tv.
All right. Marge has one comment.
Thank you. As a follow-up, Dana, with your permission, I'll go ahead and indicate that at MCTV, there are a couple of people who do speak in Chinese. So I know that Dana will make sure that anything that needs to get on MCTV will be translated as quickly as possible, Dana?
Absolutely. We're also looking for volunteers who are willing to do that with MCTV.
Great. Thank you. Thanks.
I think the way to look at that, this is Ann Schneider, Councilwoman Schneider. MCTV has translators for both Cantonese and Mandarin?
We do on a limited basis.
And you're looking for volunteers who could help with that. Do we need help with Spanish?
Yes.
So if anyone is a Spanish speaker, please contact MCTV. Thank you.
Yes.
Is there a phone number if I contact? Is it easier?
A phone number for MCTV? A phone number for MCTV?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's 259.
Okay.
259
2343.
Thank you.
2343. All right. I mean, this is not a fun day yesterday in the city of Millbrae, but when you see things happen like what's happening this morning, where people come out and want to help people, it's really the reason why we chose to make this place where we live. So I'm going to say thank you for coming out. I'm going to call this community meeting to an end. And remember, August 8th at 6:30 in the council chambers, we're going to be celebrating a vision moving forward. Okay? Thank you very much.